Proper Education, Learning Styles and Why They Are Important by Lawrence Visser. There are several different types of learning styles, but the main seven are visual, auroral or auditory, verbal, physical, social, solitary, and logical. A learning style is how a person learns best. Some people learn by hearing, while others learn by doing. There's several variations, and each person will be a little different on how it works for them. Now, according to the Association of Psychological Sciences, learning styles are a myth. They state psychological research has not found that people learn differently, at least not in the ways learning style proponents claim. Given the lack of scientific evidence, the authors argue that the current widespread use of learning style tests and teaching tools is a wasteful use of limited educational resources. They also then state it is a myth. They contradict themselves in the statement that there is no learning styles, but then they go ahead and say there are learning styles, they're just not the same as everybody thinks, but then they say that they're a myth. They can't even make up their own mind on the subject. Apparently they need to learn their learning styles in order to actually figure things out. Now, with that being said, I went ahead and asked several students about learning styles. I did a little bar graph on Facebook and had several students reply. Now, out of those, 118 believed that they were visual learners, 43 believed that they were physical learners, 12 logical, 7 auditory, 7 verbal, 3 solitary, 1 social, and 1 believed it was a myth. So, many students through BYU Idaho believe that there are learning styles. Now with learning styles, if you can pinpoint a student's main learning style, you can then place them in a class that uses that style, such as math class that uses music for those who are auditory, or a math class that also gives real-world examples for those who are logical learners. Now, without learning styles, all the students are taught the same way. Those who learn in different ways really are either left behind or struggle in order to figure it out. If you place a student in a class that uses lecture and reading as their main focuses and then throw in a video from time to time, those who are physical learners or those who are logical learners may be left behind. Those who are solitary learners are often left behind except for in their homework. Once you put them in a test, they end up really falling behind, especially in group work for some. Now, the positives of using learning styles. You'll end up with better test scores, better education, higher confidence in students for getting those better grades, and better understanding. Now there are some negatives. It will be expensive to implement at first. You will need a complete new system. We already have a lack of teachers. Facilities are outdated and would need updated in order to make it happen. And we already have a lack of involvement from parents and quite a few students that we would have to fight against in order to actually make this work. So it's not something that we can just change overnight. An example I have from my own life, as you can see, that's me in the picture. I used to be a handsome young man. Now, an example in my own life is when I first started college, I was horrible at math. I did well in math in junior high, got to high school, and kind of just got left behind because it just didn't make sense to me. I could not figure out how to apply any of it to my life. I finally got into a class in my sophomore year where a teacher sat down with me after class for an hour each day that I had class, so about twice a week, and we went over how to actually implement things to my real life. We would play games, we would do all sorts of things in order to make sure I understood. This was because he took the initiative to figure out why I could not understand math. As time went on, a few other people joined the group, and for the first time since junior high, I got an A in a math class, and I actually understood math, and I could actually go back to my previous math classes and apply it. It started to make sense to me. Now, no two people are exactly alike. There's so many combinations of learning styles, but we each have one or two that we mainly focus on. I myself tend to be more logical and a little more hands-on or physical. Now, some subjects will be tough to adapt to this, like typing. Can't really adapt it to everyone. To overview, there are 7 different learning styles. Each person is a little different in how they learn, and the majority of students believe in learning styles. It can make a difference in the lives of students. Thank you for listening, and I would like to know if you have any questions. Thanks.